This is More Knowledge, More Wealth with your host, Gabriel Shahin. Gabriel is a certified financial planner and a registered investment advisor at Falcon Wealth Planning. This show does not intend to provide personalized investment advice through this broadcast and does not represent that the services or securities discussed are suitable for any investor. Investors are advised not to rely on any information contained in the broadcast in the process of making a full informed investment decision. Now here's your host, Gabriel Shahin.
Good day, this is Gabriel Shahin, Certified Financial Planner and your host of More Knowledge, More Wealth, here on every weekend talking about all important topics of personal finance. My job is to go over the knowledge you need to increase your wealth. Now, to the listener, you can always reach out to myself or any one of my colleagues here at Falcon Wealth Planning. Our phone number is 855-963-2526. That's 855-96-FALCON, like the bird. Or visit our website at falconwealthplanning.com. That's falconwp.com for short, where you can click on the Knowledge Center and get so many great videos on YouTube, redirects you to YouTube. And you just type in Falcon Wealth Planning if you want to go to YouTube directly. But we got almost 1 million views on that site through all our videos. And if you want any previous episodes, you can go to podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, you name it, and you can get all of our history of radio shows that we have. Now, folks, I'm the president of Falcon Wealth Planning. We are a fee-only, non-commissioned, true fiduciary, folks. We go over all important topics of personal finance. It literally can be anything. It could be something as simple as Social Security or as complex as the business owner. But you're talking about taxes, investments, estate planning, insurance. Folks, you name it. Anything that involves a dollar sign, we can help you with, which is why we're offering 1 to 2 meetings, 1 to 2 hours of our time, folks, at no cost. Take advantage of it. We would love to help. It doesn't matter where you are across the country. We can help. Our phone number is 855-963-2526. That's 855-96-FALCON, like the bird, where we can help put an assessment for you to answer the questions that you may be having. And a lot of the time, we don't even know what questions that you don't even know the questions that you should be asking, which is why an open dialogue is so important, folks. That's yet again why we're offering that free financial assessment, where we're able to help relate this show to your specific situation. But today, I really want to talk to you as we're kind of, I want to say, done with tax season. A lot of us do extensions, which are due in September and October 15th. But I want to discuss with you just kind of certain things with the business owner, because a lot of people, and you're seeing this a lot on social media, where a lot of people are talking about, oh, you want to work for somebody, not be self-employed. Well, that's you become a slave. You have to work 10 to 5. Now, then you see the opposite side of that, saying, you know, only business owners are crazy enough to work 80 hours for a fraction of the pay versus working for somebody else. So there are pros and cons to everything, especially the things that you are hearing. The idea is, what are the steps necessary to, in fact, start your own business? Now, I'm not talking about building a business plan. I'm not talking about that. Quite frankly, here at Falcon Wealth Planning, when I built Falcon Wealth Planning, there was no business plan. So I'll take it a step further. I think the best people to start a business is when they can envision what they're going to do on day one of opening the business. When they can envision, if let's say it's a store or a restaurant, they could see, well, yes, the hostess is here, the checkout's over there, the kitchen's going to be over there, the layout's going to look like this. If they instantly see that in their mind, those are probably really good people to be business owners. Now, that's for a restaurant. There's a lot of other complexities to a restaurant. Let's go into account a service business. Why? Because that sells brain. It doesn't sell product, food, or so on, goods. It sells brain. So it's a lot less overhead. For example, if you're a psychologist and you want to be able to help people, you got to envision what day one looks like and the things that are necessary to do it. So when you look at now, opening a business account has actually become a little bit more complex than before. Most states out there, when you open up a business, some requires a fictitious name statement, some requires a reservation of a name, some requires to go fill an articles of incorporation or an articles of an organization, depending if it's an LLC or a corporation like an S Corp or so on. And so with that, you have to start thinking to yourself of what are the things that are necessary. So the first thing is you do have to get your articles. Now, a lot of that is through the Secretary of State at the state that you're in. Simple as that. Some states require on an annual basis to update, it's called a Statement of Information. If you have a new director, if you have somebody new on the board, typically they required a CEO, a secretary, and a CFO. For most people, a single practitioners, it's the same person for all of them. So, but still, they're required to fill out a statement of information. This way, if they need an address change or anything like that, and they charge a fee for that. Some states, like the state of California, charges $800 minimum for any corporation that's incorporated. Now, in addition to that, now I mentioned S Corp before. Every corporation that you open up, obviously not the LLC, but a corporation, is in fact a C Corp. You have to file another document with the IRS to elect for an S Corp election. So not only do you have the articles you have to submit for, statement of information, but now you have to submit an S Corp election to the IRS. In addition to that, if you open up something here in 2024, guess what? You now have a FinCEN reporting. This financial crimes network that now has to tell them, I opened it up. This is where I live. This is my driver license, so on and so forth. This is another requirement. And you don't have a year to do it. If you had an old business, you have a year to do it. But if you open in 2024, you have to do it. And so very soon, within 30 or 90 days. And so you have multiple things that are now necessary to open up a business. This is just like the nuts and bolts of it. Then you might need a partnership agreement, an operating agreement. You may need bylaws, corporate bylaws. This is another thing that is necessary to open up a business account. Depending on the business, you may have to do stock certificates. And depending on your estate plan, you might have to put your trust as the holder of this to avoid any probate. And your trust may have to say, does it allow to own business entities, and so on. So there's yet again a lot of items here that you have to look at. And you need a stock ledger to register everything of the transfers. So this is just setting it up. This is why most people go with an attorney or some type of entity to help you do it. It's complex. It's not like how it used to be in the 70s and 80s where you could just open an account and just march forward. Some of these things like the FinCEN just started in 2024. By the way, folks, if you're just joining me, you're listening to Gabriel Shahin, Certified Financial Planner, and your host of More Knowledge, More Wealth, here on every weekend talking about all important topics of personal finance. And today I'm just talking about the basic concepts of opening a business because a lot of people, that's what they want to do. They want to be their own boss. And I get that. But there's a lot of nuts and bolts with it as well. One thing I haven't even talked about, depending on where you work, you're going to have to set up a business license as well to tell the city what you're doing and where you're doing it. Some of those cities, a lot of them here in California, you have to go to the fire inspection on an annual basis as well. That's also annoying as well. Now, depending on what you sell, you have to go do sales tax. You have to submit on a monthly or quarterly basis, depending on where you're located. Government wants their money. You're charging sales tax on goods. They want a piece of it. Here in California, it's a board of equalization. Other states, they call it something else. Now you got the business up and running. You got all this stuff figured it out, right? Okay, well, now you got to pay yourself. Assuming you have employees and so on, you have to set up a payroll company. Oh, by the way, you need all that stuff done before you set up the payroll company because they're going to want all that stuff. Now, some of these states, you have to go through disability. You have to go through Social Security, pay that. You got to pay for Medicare. You got to pay all these little things to the payroll company. Then some of them, almost all of them, you need workers' compensation insurance. And by the way, this doesn't even talk about business liability insurance or anything like that you may need for the business. Then you have to set up your bank accounts. If your credit's good, get a business credit card. That can help establish business credit and separate personal and business expenses. Some people get a bookkeeper as well because you got to keep track of how much money you're bringing in and how much you're spending. Now, your heart and soul, your gut should be able to identify if you're profitable or not. Your business plan is in your mind. You're not going to start a business that's not going to make money. You know, people who do that, what they call it? They call that a hobby. And listen, if it's a legitimate business, like these popular startups that are happening, it's allowed to lose money more than 3 years. I know the IRS says you can't lose money for over 3 years or it's considered a hobby. Well, guess what? Tesla lost money for 13 years before it started making money. Same thing with Amazon and many other tech companies. Those are legitimate businesses, not a hobby. So this is why the complexity of these situations are so important. This is why we're offering a free financial assessment, because you may have a dream, but there is no dream without execution, without a plan. Because once you have that, it becomes a goal. And that's what you need. To achieve your dreams, you need goals. And goals has to be consistent. This is what we would love to help with, folks. We're offering 1 to 2 meetings, 1 to 2 hours of our time, folks, at no cost. Give us a call. Our phone number is 855-963-2526. That's 855-96-FALCON, like the bird. Or visit our website at falconwealthplanning.com. That's falconwp.com for short. Because I'm just looking at all these little things that people have to do, and it's a hard task to do it on their own, let alone running a business and make it professional and perfect on its way forward. This is what we do here at Falcon Wealth Planning. We help put all this together for you. We want you to be successful. We want you to achieve those goals and dreams. But at the same time, everybody wants to be business owners. But can you execute? You know what people end up doing? Let's say you have a job that's sales, selling insurance, whatever it may be. And then you get there at work, you're finally there, and then you just find things to do. You just start tidying things up at your desk, answering emails, messing with your signature, messing with your website. You're doing everything you needed versus getting on the phone and making dials. This is very normal for a business owner. You have to know what you're going to do on day one, and you have to make yourself accountable. This is what makes successful entrepreneurs, successful business owners, quite frankly. Heck, in our industry, it makes successful advisors, because you have to follow up with people. You have to make sure they're executing on what they said they were going to execute on, because it's a partnership. So bookkeeping is important as well. Now, we don't care to do bookkeeping, but something like that could cost a few $100s a month. But this is something that you should be doing, because most people do not do it. Depending on the business, they could be needing to do bill collecting as well. That's another hard one. Finally, your taxes. Taxes, these are your federal and state taxes. You have to do those on an annual basis, and some states do charge a fee on the corporation, whether it's a C Corp or an S Corp or even an LLC. Some states charge on gross sales, not net sales. Can you imagine by not incorporating properly on a gas station? You may pump $5 million a year, but only net $50,000. Depending on the state, you could be paying tens of thousands of dollars a year for just your corporate entity. These are the things people aren't aware of. What I want to do is I want to go on a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk more about being a business owner, the little nuances of things that you have to do. Because all you see what's on Instagram or on social media, or your friend that opened their business and you just see the success they have today. What you're not seeing is some of the headaches that happen behind the scenes. That I want to share with you when we come back. We'll be right back after a few words. This is Gabriel Shahin, Certified Financial Planner, your host of More Knowledge, More Wealth. That's on every weekend. We're going over all important topics of personal finance. We're going over retirement planning, making sure you're prepared for retirement, Social Security and strategies, real estate, taxes, avoiding them now and in the future, investments, reducing fees, commissions, and so on, insurance, and estate planning. Folks, we are offering a free financial assessment that you could take advantage of. We have offices all across Southern California, including the Inland Empire. Give us a call to take advantage. Our phone number is 855-963-2526. That's 855-96-FALCON, like the bird, or visit our website, falconwealthplanning.com. That's falconwp.com for short. Enjoy the show. We look forward to serving you. Welcome back, folks. This is Gabriel Shahin, Certified Financial Planner, and your host of More Knowledge, More Wealth here. And every weekend, we're talking about all important topics of personal finance. And I've just been getting a lot more people talking about them wanting to be a business owner. And I think it's fantastic, especially those that really have a good vision and they know what they're going to do on a daily basis. I think it's the best decision they can ever make, especially those really good go-getters. They want to be in control of their own destiny. They know exactly what they need to do. You know who are really good at these? Realtors. Those are fantastic business owners, especially the full-time realtors. Now, I know there's issues going on in the real estate world with commissions and stuff right now, but the idea is they know what they're going to do on day one. They know they're going to pound the phones. They're going to see all the for sale by owners. They're going to go on Zillow. They're going to look at great homes that are hot and try to sell it to people that are looking for homes. I get it. But the idea is you only see the positive things. And most people are not going to do professional real estate, or they're not going to do professional services. They're going to do goods. That's the bread and butter of our country. Whether it's a lawnmower shop, or whether it's a mini car dealership, or it's selling fruit or shirts in a store or on the side. The idea is that is the classic American dream. Now, when you look at some of the headaches that you go through, now the positives can be rewarding, infinite times rewarding. Now there's a lot more millionaires in the world today than they were 15 years ago because of what's happened in the stock market and so on and so forth, the retirement accounts and so on. But when you look historically speaking, over 90% of all millionaires in the US were business owners. Why? Because their income is unlimited. Most jobs that you have right now, you trade in that unlimited income for security. And you get paid based on your skills, your longevity, and how much money you're making for the company. And for a lot of people, that is limited because the company still has to make money, right? They're taking the risk to hire you, to train you. They're taking the risk if there's no business, they still have to pay you. I get it. I'm a business owner. And so there are fantastic things of being a business owner. You see that. That's what you see in social media. One of my colleagues, he gave us something on my mouse pad. He gave it to all the advisors here. I call them CEOs, the advisors, right? Because they're running their own business, right? That's what it is. They're helping their clients. There are some advisors that put in a lot of work. And those are fantastic advisors because they do that for their clients. And so my idea is, his idea was they show this iceberg. And you've seen this before. You only see the top 10% of the iceberg. There's 90% of the iceberg underneath. That's where there's hard work. That's where there's good attitude. That's where it's waking up early. That's where it's getting punched in the face. It's still coming to work. Not physically, but you know what I mean? There are negative things that happen. Things don't always go your way. It doesn't go your way when you're at work as an employee. Imagine when you're the employer, and now you have to deal with personalities. You got to deal with people calling out sick. You got to deal with HR issues. You got to deal with tech issues. You got to deal with accounting issues, bank issues. You got to deal with customer complaints. You're the boss. You can't delegate any of that stuff out anymore. This is why you see risk versus reward. They take a lot of risk. They're coming out with their own pockets for a lot of these expenses. So the logic here, somebody like yourself, is are you comfortable to trade or a situation where you have a consistent pay and you have paid time off, potentially, matching retirement accounts, then paying the employer part of your Social Security and Medicare, versus when you're self-employed, you pay both sides. That's 15%, in addition to federal and state. Most people just aren't prepared for that. I'm not here to discourage. What I want you to do is be successful. Take that into account. Also, don't take what I'm saying for analysis paralysis where you don't execute. That's another negative thing that can happen. I just want you to know that sometimes the key to success is having a great financial partnership. You don't know what you don't know. You don't do this on an annual basis. Whether you're a chiropractor, whether you're a dentist, whether you're a lawyer, whatever your profession is, whether you have the local restaurant or the local good shop, the idea is you don't know. You don't do this every day. Well, guess who does? Here at Falcon Wealth Planning, we pride to being a holistic planner. Managing money is the easiest part of what we do. Tax planning is, I don't want to say it's easy what we do, but we do it every day. And 95% of the same situation is recycled over and over and over again. It's at 5%. It's the business owners, depending on their situation, depending on their role, depending on their structure, depending on a lot of things, where we add extreme value. And we see this often, where it often gets just mismanaged, where people come to us 5 to 10 years later and say, we wish we met you 5 to 10 years ago. Folks, this is why we're offering a free financial assessment. Take a look at your situation. It is never too late. We had a client that came in that had a dentist practice for many, many years, tens of years. We'll call it maybe 20 to 25 years. And they ended up saving now on an annual basis $75,000 a year. Now, obviously, that can't be the same for everybody. Obviously, they made good money, but they now save $75,000 a year in tax savings. Yet again, there's no magic wand here. This is a pen. The idea is they wish they met earlier. They met us earlier. So we would love to help, folks. We're offering 1 to 2 meetings, 1 to 2 hours at no cost. Give us a call. We have offices all over. Our phone number is 855-963-9797. 2526. That's 855-96 Falcon, like the bird. Or visit our website at falconwealthplanning.com. That's falconwp.com for short, where we can help put an assessment of your situation and point you in the right direction, because we've seen these mistakes all far too often. By the way, folks, if you're just joining me, you're listening to Gabriel Shahin, Certified Financial Planner, and your host of More Knowledge, More Wealth here on every weekend, talking about all important topics of personal finance. So I wanted to discuss with you today just the basic concepts of a business owner. Let me tell you some of the best parts of being a business owner, especially for somebody who's a doer. You're able to see faster, sooner, the results that you put into it. You could see it in the results with your clients, with the goods store that you may have, or just in the financial rewards of your business. Also, you just may be really good with people, motivating people, managing people. And the beauty with the business, you could invest $1 and it pays you $2. See, that math can grow really fast. You put in 100, it makes you 200. You put in 1,000, 2,000. A million, 2 million. Now you can see why a majority of the millionaires in this country are entrepreneurs, business owners. Now, people misconstrue business owner and entrepreneur. Kind of annoys me a little bit. Entrepreneur, it's this fake name, like, oh, I'm this business owner, serial business owner. No, you're just a business owner. Like, nothing's wrong with that. Don't feel bad about that. You don't need a fancy title that says you're a entrepreneur. Heck, people have a tough time, those who say it, even spelling it. The idea is, if you really want a big title, CEO, you're a one-man shop, you're CEO, president, founder, whatever makes you sleep better, quite frankly. Who cares what you call yourself? You may care in your industry, people want to know they're dealing with the president or whatnot, but the idea is, the proof is in the execution of what you're offering. Don't lose track of that. Focus on the things that are available to enhance your model, which could be technology, what it could be people, or just enhancing the product or service. But the benefit of being a business owner is, you should know in your mind how you're going to do it. You should know the holes in your system as you're going through it. Ideally, before you go through it. Ideally, you've thought about this so much in your mind, where it's a form of obsession, that when it comes down to reality or making the sale or the point of purchase, it's easy because you've already worked out every scenario in your mind. These are the best entrepreneurs. These are the best business owners. These are the best, whatever you want to call these people. But the idea is, nothing comes easy. It's very rare. That top of the iceberg is real, where you see that top 10% of success. There is a lot of headache that goes underneath that. Not having support from loved ones or friends. The people that used to be your friends, sadly, even some people that loved ones, no longer support. Having to miss family occasions and friends occasions. Having to spend a lot of money where there's times you are broke. Missing family, truly. You may have a young child that you don't get to see grow up as much as you wanted because of the time you put in. People who want balance in their lives, I respect that. But you can't have it both ways. You can't expect to be an amazing business owner and have everything that a normal person would have in a 9-to-5 work. Why? Because it is an obsession. It is your child. Whether you have one or not, it is. And that's why you see a lot of business owners not get married and not have kids, because they don't have time for it, because all they think about is work. So my comment to you is, assess what you want out of this life. The best case scenario is you're absolutely passionate about what you do. That is the best case scenario. And people are out there like that. So when you're passionate, you think about it nonstop, naturally. It's not a drain. People ask me about my journey. I love my journey. I don't look at it as work. I love what I do. Hopefully you can hear that in the passion of my tone when I talk to you about this stuff. For me, it's my life. I identify as a financial planner and a husband and a father. But a big part of who I am and my identity is my profession. I help thousands and thousands and thousands of people impact lives daily. And you could be a hairdresser and have the same feeling. You could be open a smoke shop and be the same thing. You can have a car repair store and have the same thing. Might as well get paid for what you love. And if you have the energy, you have the ambition, and you have the vision, then it makes sense. And more importantly, do you have the care? Like some people truly have a simple life. Do you have the care for a better lifestyle? Because you can get a lot of what you're looking to itch and the passion by working for a company. Companies see this and look to advance people. You know, the CEO of Google worked in Google as an employee. Now he's a billionaire. So it depends on you, what you want to do. All I'm telling you is there are things in the road that you have to take into account. And it does take time, and time is money. But if you have the vision, I say go do it, because I've had the luxury of working with thousands of business owners. I've seen a common denominator. I've seen that passion. I've seen the hunger to be successful, which is through education and really knowing their business. And they're honest, because it's going to catch up with you if you're not. Folks, that's all I have for you today. That was a fast show. I thought it'd be a good thing to switch it up a little bit, talk about the business owners, talk about the people who always thought about starting their own business, not to scare them, but talk about the pros and cons. And if you have those innate qualities that I mentioned, then it could make sense for you. Folks, if you have any questions, please reach out to myself or any one of our colleagues here at Falcon Wealth Planning. Our phone number is 855-963-2526. That's 855-96-FALCON, like the bird. Or visit our website at falconwealthplanning.com. That's falconwp.com for short, where you can visit our knowledge center, which directs you to YouTube, and you can see a whole bunch of videos that we have there that almost have 1 million views. And we got those from you. You put in inquiries at radio@falconwp.com. That's radio@falconwp.com. If we like the idea, we go ahead and make a video on it, and we put it either on our site or definitely on the knowledge center. Folks, if you want to like this episode, you can get any one of our previous episodes as well. Just go to podcast, Spotify, and a few others, and you're able to get it. Folks, that was a fast show. Thank you for tuning in. We want you to have a fantastic weekend. Have a great week, and God bless.